Howdy folks, it's time to taste more rum. Now, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. The rum videos get the fewest views, but the most enthusiastic response from loyal viewers. Now, a little while back, I tried some samples of Grander sent to me by loyal viewer The Files. That video prompted loyal viewer Rob Ballas to send me even more Grander samples. So today, I'm going to taste those. I'll tell you all about them. Let's go. So, Rob belongs to a Facebook group called the Rum Caucus. This seems like it's a fun group. It seems to be centered around Alabama, and there's a rum fest down there that they seem to like to go to that I believe just happened prior to this recording. If you're part of the caucus, and I think if you go to the festival, you can try samples and be on the committee to pick out the samples. Then they partner with a local liquor store to, import some Grander single barrels. Now that sounds like fun to me. So Rob sent me 4 samples of Rum Caucus single barrels. How cool is that? I haven't tasted these before, so we're gonna taste them and just see what we think. By the way, these are samples of single barrels. I don't have a whole lot of information about them, only what Rob wrote on the blue tape on these samples, so I don't have any sexy bottle pictures or anything like that. By the way, I'm going to try these in increasing proof order. They're all over 100 proof. That seems like the way to go. So our first single barrel doesn't have a lot of information. It is 105.4 proof. That's the lowest, as I said. Picked for the Alabama Rum Fest. No other information. Not even an age statement. But I think the Grander website said all of the single barrels are at least 8 years, so my assumption is that this is 8-year-old. So everything I know about Grander I put into the last Grander video. You can go check that out if you want to know more about Grander in particular. The upshot of that video was that this is a Panamanian rum that is good if you like bourbon, like it's a bourbon lover's rum. And this first one reminds me very much of the 8-year we tried last time. Very bourbony, like a lot of caramel, a lot of buttered popcorn, a little bit of like butterscotch, a little bit hot on the nose. Let's give it a taste. That is a solid, nice vanilla caramel rum. Column still, not funky at all. Very sort of straightforward, approachable rum. Pretty good. I had no information about the barrel or anything like that. It tastes like an ex-bourbon barrel. That's probably what it is. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Solid, delicious rum. Okay, so we're going to move on to sample 2 because I have a little bit more information about this. First of all, it's 106 proof, and it's a virgin toasted single barrel. Toasting the barrel is a thing they're doing these days in bourbon, where instead of charring the barrel, you put the barrel like in an oven to sort of bake it, to sort of toast it, rather than charring it. So, and I actually don't know if they char it and toast it, or if they just toast it or just char it, but it doesn't matter. It's sort of a different way of treating the barrel that is supposed to impart a different sort of flavor. This one is 10 years in ex-bourbon and 11 months in new toasted barrel. So that's not quite 11 years old. Let's give it a try. Now, I've tried toasted barrel bourbons before. Not a ton, but here and there. I can't say that it had a particular impact on me. I don't remember it being like super special or anything. Very similar aroma to the last. Maybe a little more appley, a little fruitier maybe. I feel like this is older. I think I was right about the first one maybe being more like 8 years. This is almost 11. It's got definitely more that influence from the barrel, more of those vanilla, the oaky notes. Pretty good though, still pretty good. It's very dry. It's sort of tannic maybe. I think from those barrels, the oak gives you that oakiness is sort of a dry finish. I don't hate it. I will reiterate that this is definitely something that bourbon people would like. It almost tastes like bourbon in a weird way. Certainly on the finish it does. Not the aroma and not the initial hit, but yeah, I could definitely see someone who likes bourbon being very into this. Okay, we're moving on to sample number 3. This one is 107.8 proof, so just a little bit higher. It is 12 years in ex-bourbon and then 11 months in a Weller barrel. Now, Weller is also bourbon, so it's gone from 12 years in one single barrel and then finished in a different bourbon barrel. Now, I'm going to say again, this is for bourbon people because I don't think anyone besides bourbon people would really care the brand of bourbon that it was in. Also, Weller is, believe Weller is wheated bourbon, and like I can't imagine that would make a huge difference to the barrel, to the rum that's in that barrel, but let's just open this sample and see what we think. So I'm a little bit skeptical that the fact that it's a Weller bourbon barrel is going to make a huge impact on me. Similar aromas. It's weird how bourbony it is. Caramel, a lot of apple, green apple too. You know what you don't get is a lot of those sort of traditional rum flavors you often get, like a molasses or brown sugar, things like that. It's definitely sort of dominated by the barrel. Let's give it a taste. I mean, that's also pretty good. Also very like oak forward, barrel influenced, but it's got a little extra kick of like sort of like an appley kind of flavor. A little bit of that, what you might expect from rum, like that sort of sweetness, that sort of sugar flavor. Yeah, this might be my favorite one so far. A little bit more balanced, a little bit rounder, a little bit more rum flavor for some reason. I can't really say that these are wildly different, but something about toasted barrels don't fill me with any kind of joy. Grander does do a lot of weird barrel finishes. If you look on their website, they've got a lot of weird offerings, which would be pretty interesting to try. Although, obviously, as you probably know, I can't get them here. If anybody else wants to send me samples, I'd be more than happy to try them out. You can see my email down in the description if you want to get a hold of me. Okay, finally we got something that seems like it might be pretty interesting. This one is 127 proof, so the highest one we've tried so far. It doesn't say the age on the blue tape, but it is a rye finish. Based on these other barrels, I'm gonna guess that it's 10 to 12 years in a bourbon barrel and then finished in a rye barrel. Probably some 6 to 12 months in a rye barrel. That is a total conjecture, though. I don't actually know. When we hear it's been finished in a rye barrel, you might be trying to search out some of those spicier notes that you get from a rye. So, I mean, let's see what we can taste and see what we can smell, see what we can taste. I think maybe I can talk myself into that. I don't know. Definitely a lot of caramel, candy corn, popcorn, green apple, all the things that you sort of expect. Anyway, I'm going to give this a taste to see what we think. Definitely hotter. It is like just slightly spicier, but also slightly sweeter. A little bit more an interesting journey. It's sort of more of a roller coaster in terms of the flavors, I'd say. It's got more of a longer, lingering finish. That's pretty fun. I mean, it's funny, like, to my palate, these don't taste wildly different from each other. If you really concentrate, you can pick out some nuances from one to the other, but I'm not necessarily getting any rye flavor from this. But it does seem a little bit more complex, a little bit more interesting than some of the others. That could be the higher proof, could be something about the rye finish, but like all of these are pretty good. If you get a grander single barrel with a weird finish, it's probably pretty good. Pretty straightforward, column stilled, like solid rum that you could make a delicious old fashioned with, or impress your friends with the tasting or whatever. However you enjoy your rum, you probably could enjoy this. But yeah, I'm gonna double down on the idea that this is a rum for bourbon lovers, especially if you enjoy bourbons or other whiskeys in weird finishes. These should satisfy. Okay, that's all I got for you. Rob also included in this box a sample of an aged Renegade rum, which is pretty exciting. I think I might do that one maybe later on, compare it to the Renegade I have here. That should be a pretty fun one. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell thingamajiggy. In the meantime, put any comments down below, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.